Amara stood at the gate of her mother-in-law's house with trembling hands, holding an empty baby blanket that still smelled like milk and soap. Her heart was beating so loudly that she could hear it in her ears. 3 years had passed, yet this moment still felt like yesterday. The day her child vanished was the day her life stopped making sense. It happened on a quiet morning, the kind of morning that feels safe. The sun was gentle, the air was calm. Amara had just finished bathing her 6-month-old daughter, Zara. The baby was smiling, making soft sounds, stretching her tiny fingers toward her mother's face. Amara kissed her cheeks and wrapped her carefully, whispering promises she believed would last forever. Her husband Daniel had already left for work. He trusted his mother completely. Everyone did. Madame Beatrice was known as a strong woman, respected in the community, feared by some, admired by many. She spoke with authority, walked with confidence, and never liked being questioned. That morning, Madame Beatrice asked to take Zara for a short walk. "Let me help you," she said calmly. "You look tired." Amara hesitated. Something inside her shifted. It was small, almost unnoticeable, but it was there. Still, she handed the baby over. Respect had been taught to her since childhood. Saying no to an elder felt like a sin. She watched her mother-in-law walk away with Zara, the baby's laughter fading with every step. That was the last time Amara saw her child. When Madame Beatrice did not return after 1 hour, Amara began to worry. After 2 hours, fear took over. By evening, panic had swallowed her whole. Phone calls went unanswered. Neighbors claimed they saw Madame Beatrice leave in a car. No one knew where she went. When Daniel returned that night, Amara collapsed into tears. "My baby is gone," she cried. "Your mother took her." Daniel froze. He did not shout. He did not accuse. He only stood there, silent, as if his world had cracked open. The next morning, Madame Beatrice returned alone. No baby. No explanation. She sat down calmly, drank water, and said words that shattered Amara's soul. "That child is not safe with you," Amara screamed. She begged, she knelt. She held onto her mother-in-law's legs until her knees bled. But Madame Beatrice's face remained cold. "I did what was best," she said. Daniel was torn apart. He asked questions, demanded answers, but his mother shut him down with one sentence. "If you want peace in this family, let this go." Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The police found nothing. Madame Beatrice denied everything. She said Amara was unstable. She said the baby had died suddenly and was buried quietly to avoid shame. Daniel began to doubt. Amara did not. A mother knows when her child is alive. Every night, Amara dreamed of Zara crying in the dark. Every morning she woke up screaming. Her health failed. Her marriage cracked. Her world became small and painful. People whispered. She lost her mind. She should move on. She is disturbing the family. But Amara held on to one truth. Her child was alive, and one day she would find her, even if it destroyed everything. Amara did not leave the house immediately. She stayed because hope refused to die inside her. Every corner of that home reminded her of Zara. The wall where she marked the baby's height. The chair where she used to sing softly at night. The room still smelled like powder and warm milk. Letting go felt like betrayal. Madame Beatrice changed overnight. She avoided Amara completely. When their eyes met, there was no guilt, only control. She spoke through others. She sent instructions. She behaved like a woman who had won a battle that no one else understood. Daniel tried to stand in the middle, but the space between husband and wife grew wider each day. His job demanded long hours. His phone calls became fewer. His voice lost warmth. At night he turned his back to Amara, not out of hatred, but confusion. His mother filled his ears with poison. "She is sick. She imagines things. She will ruin your future." One evening, Daniel sat across from Amara with red eyes. "My mother says we should let the matter rest," he whispered. "She says Zara is gone." Amara stared at him like she was seeing a stranger. "How can you say that?" she asked quietly. "How can you accept this?" Daniel lowered his head. "I don't know what to believe anymore." That night, something inside Amara cracked. Not loudly, not suddenly, but deeply. She realized she was alone. Days later, Madame Beatrice made her move. She called a family meeting. Elders filled the living room. Faces hardened with judgment before Amara spoke a single word. Madame Beatrice stood tall, wearing white, looking like a woman of peace. "She is unstable," she said. "She refuses to heal. She accuses me without proof. This behavior is dangerous." Amara tried to speak, but voices drowned her. A woman must know when to move on. "You cannot fight your husband's mother. This obsession will destroy everyone." The final decision came quickly. Amara was asked to leave the marriage. Daniel did not fight it. His silence hurt more than words ever could. She packed her clothes in one small bag. No child, no pictures, no memories she could hold. When she stepped out of the house, she felt something die inside her chest. She returned to her parents' home broken. The village welcomed her with pity. Some avoided her, others whispered behind her back. Nights were the worst. She slept lightly, always waking up suddenly, her heart racing, her arms reaching for a child that was not there. Years passed slowly. Amara worked small jobs. She sold food by the roadside. She saved little by little. Pain aged her quickly, but it also sharpened her mind. She stopped crying loudly. She started watching quietly. She noticed patterns. Madame Beatrice traveled often. She avoided certain questions. She never spoke of Zara again. One afternoon, a woman approached Amara at the market. Her voice shook. "I don't know if I should say this," she whispered, "but I once saw a child who looks like you." Amara's heart stopped. The woman explained carefully. 3 years ago, Madame Beatrice brought a baby to a distant town. She claimed the child belonged to a relative who had died. The child was handed over to a couple who had no children of their own. Amara could not breathe. That night, she did not sleep. She did not eat. She did not cry. For the first time in 3 years, she felt something stronger than pain. Certainty. Her child had been hidden, her suffering had been planned, and the truth was waiting. She sold her few belongings. She borrowed money. She traveled quietly, without telling anyone. Her heart beat with fear and hope, walking side by side. She did not know what she would find. But she knew one thing: a mother does not forget her child, and distance does not erase blood. Amara arrived in the distant town at dawn. The air smelled unfamiliar. The streets were quiet. She carried only a small bag and a heart heavy with fear. Every step she took felt like walking toward either healing or complete destruction. She found the house easily. It stood at the edge of the town, painted pale blue, with flowers growing along the fence. Children's laughter floated from inside. That sound alone nearly brought her to her knees. She stood across the road for a long time, watching. A little girl ran out into the yard. Her hair was full and dark. Her smile was wide. She moved with the same gentle sway Amara had carried since childhood. When the child laughed, Amara felt something deep inside her respond. It was her. She did not need proof. She did not need explanation. A mother knows. Amara watched the woman of the house kneel to wipe the child's face. The little girl called her Mama and hugged her tightly. The sound cut through Amara like a blade. Her legs weakened. Tears blurred her vision. 3 years of longing crashed into that single moment. That night, Amara slept outside the house, hidden by darkness. She listened to the sounds of the home. She imagined bedtime stories, warm meals, gentle hands brushing hair. Relief and jealousy battled inside her heart. The next morning, she approached carefully. She greeted the woman politely and introduced herself as a traveler looking for work. The woman welcomed her without suspicion. Her name was Grace. She was kind, soft-spoken, and tired in the way only women who long for children understand. Grace spoke openly. "We waited many years," she said. "Then a woman brought us this child. She said the baby had no mother. I believed her." Each word pierced Amara. She watched Zara closely. The child was healthy, she was loved, she was safe. That knowledge brought peace and pain in equal measure. Amara stayed nearby for days. She helped with chores, she cooked, she cleaned. She observed quietly. Zara was gentle, thoughtful, and shy around strangers. At night, Amara cried silently, pressing her face into the ground so no sound escaped. One evening, Zara fell and scraped her knee. As she cried, she ran straight to Amara, not Grace. Amara froze. Without thinking, she carried the child, humming a song she used to sing years ago. Zara calmed instantly. Her small fingers held tightly to Amara's dress. Grace watched in silence, confused. That night, Zara refused to sleep unless Amara was nearby. Blood remembered blood. The next day, Amara told the truth. She did not shout, she did not accuse. She spoke slowly, carefully, with tears streaming down her face. She showed Grace the birthmark behind Zara's ear. She shared details no stranger could know. Grace broke down. She wept like a woman whose world had collapsed. She apologized repeatedly. She swore she had been deceived. She had loved Zara as her own, not knowing the truth. Pain filled the room. 2 mothers, 1 child, 1 cruel lie. Grace agreed to help Amara seek justice, but warned her of danger. Madame Beatrice was powerful. She had connections. She had controlled the story for years. Before they could act, a message arrived. Madame Beatrice was coming. Amara's heart raced. Fear returned stronger than ever. The woman who destroyed her life was on her way. And this time she was not coming to explain. She was coming to take control. Madame Beatrice arrived before sunrise. Her presence filled the compound like a dark cloud. She stepped out of the car slowly, dressed neatly, her face calm, as if she was visiting a place she owned. Her eyes moved quickly, scanning everything, calculating. When she saw Amara standing beside Zara, her expression changed. Not to shock, not to fear, to anger. "So you finally found her," Madame Beatrice said quietly. Grace stood between them, holding Zara close. Her hands trembled, but her voice did not. "You lied to me," she said. "You told me the child had no mother." Madame Beatrice laughed softly. "I told you what was necessary." Amara stepped forward. Her voice shook, but her words were steady. "Why?" she asked. "Why did you do this to me?" Madame Beatrice looked at Zara, then away. "The child is not for you," she replied. "She was never meant to grow under your shadow." Those words opened a wound deeper than any blade. Madame Beatrice finally spoke the truth. She had never accepted Amara. She believed Amara was weak, poor, and unsuitable to raise a child in the way she desired. She feared the child would grow without power, without status, without control. She wanted Zara raised by people she could influence from a distance. She wanted ownership. "I saved her future," Madame Beatrice said coldly. Amara's knees buckled. Grace gasped. The cruelty of it all felt unreal. Madame Beatrice reached for Zara. "Give her to me," she ordered. Zara clung to Amara, crying loudly. "I want her," the child sobbed. The sound shattered something inside Madame Beatrice, but only for a moment. Her face hardened again. "You are poisoning her," she snapped. Grace stepped back. "I will not allow this anymore," she said firmly. "I will go to the authorities." Madame Beatrice's eyes darkened. "You will do no such thing." She revealed her final weapon. Daniel was on his way. She had called him earlier. She told him Amara was trying to steal a child that did not belong to her. She painted Amara as dangerous once again. Amara felt the ground disappear beneath her feet. Hours later, Daniel arrived. He stopped when he saw Zara. His world collapsed. The child's face, the birthmark, the familiar eyes. Truth struck him like thunder. Amara spoke slowly, gently, showing him everything. Grace confirmed it all. Neighbors who had witnessed Madame Beatrice's earlier visit came forward. Daniel turned to his mother. "You lied," he whispered. Madame Beatrice did not deny it. "I protected my blood," she said. Daniel stepped away from her. "For 3 years," he said, his voice breaking, "my wife suffered. My child cried, and you watched." Silence filled the air. Madame Beatrice realized she had lost control. Authorities were called. Statements were taken. The truth spread quickly. The woman who once commanded respect now sat alone, exposed. Zara held Amara's hand tightly. She did not let go. That night, for the first time in years, Amara slept beside her child, not in fear, not in doubt, but in truth.